friends, family, and internet strangers. Stephanie here with another What's for Dinner video. This one is part of a health food challenge, so all of these recipes are going to be full of flavor, full of nutrition, and really, really easy because it's been a long week and I've needed some easy meals. So all of these are also going to be done in my Instant Pot. I know a lot of people got Instant Pots over the holidays, so here are some great healthy Instant Pot recipes for you. This is part of a collaboration hosted by Tiffany over at Small Town 6. I will have her channel linked in the description box below, as well as a link to the playlist so you can check out all of these healthy food videos. First up, I've got a vegan quinoa chili. This is something that I have shown on my channel before, but I've never shown how I make it. I do have a recipe for this, and it is linked in the description box down below. It's a recipe I got off Pinterest. It is not an Instant Pot recipe, but I make it in the Instant Pot. Also, I am making a smaller portion of this than what the recipe is. So this is not exactly half. It's kind of like 3/4 of the recipe. Essentially, instead of using 3 different cans of beans, I'm using 2 cans of beans. So the only part of this that really requires much work at all or much effort is chopping a little bit of onions and a little bit of peppers and sauteing them. Everything else is dumping stuff in. So I am using this tri-bean blend. It's kidney beans, black beans, and pinto beans. That way I can only use 2 cans and not 3. I could do the entire thing in here, but it's a little bit tight in my size of Instant Pot to get all of the full recipe in here. And also, I'm only one person, so I do not need that much chili. Even with how much I'm making here, I'm going to be freezing most of this. I will probably only eat it fresh for about 2 days, and then everything else will be frozen. So I froze about 4 portions of this and then ate one and kept one out for a different day. So I am just adding all of the ingredients right into the Instant Pot. It's got cumin, it's got paprika, it has got a little bit of salt and pepper. Now I use garlic salt because you are supposed to put garlic in this, but I was not feeling well this day and I decided to just do garlic salt. I could not be bothered to mince up garlic or to wash my garlic mincer and just throw it in there. So I decided just garlic salt was fine, and it still tasted great. And then as I add all of the different ingredients in, I'm just slowly stirring this together. I've got some diced tomatoes. I used fire roasted. I have learned that I prefer regular diced tomatoes, but I still had a can left over of fire roasted, so I thought this would be the perfect recipe to use those up in instead of regular. And this is the one addition I do to the recipe. It does not call for spinach, but I add spinach to it, and I really like the extra little bit of nutrition that it adds to it, and it's a great way to finish up leftover spinach if you have leftover spinach. I added some quinoa. It does not look like a lot of quinoa, but it all is going to puff up when it cooks, and it will be plenty of quinoa. Make sure you drain it and rinse it before you put it in to get any residue off that might be in the packaging. So I put this in for about 15 minutes on high pressure. Sorry for the steam, but I just stir it up and then add the corn after the fact. The recipe calls for frozen corn. I just used canned corn because it's what I had on hand, and I ended up putting the full can in. Since I was doing half the recipe or 3/4 of the recipe, probably shouldn't have put the whole can in, but I like corn, so I was okay with that. And here is my final product. Next up, I am going to show you some sweet potatoes. These are quote-unquote baked sweet potatoes, but they're really sweet potatoes done in the Instant Pot. So they're really steamed potatoes, but you can use them as you would a baked potato. I am starting out by using a fork to poke holes all around the outside of my potatoes. I'm putting them on my steamer rack there, and then putting 1 cup of water in the bottom, putting my Instant Pot lid on, and then I have kind of small to medium sized sweet potatoes here, so 15 minutes and then 10-minute natural release was perfect. And here are a few ways that you can use these. First up, you could top it with the chili that we just made, But this next one, stay with me. I promise it's really good, even though it looks really strange. So this could be a dessert. This could be a breakfast. This could be a healthy snack. I'm going to top this with peanut butter and cinnamon. And I know that that sounds a little strange for a topping for a sweet potato, but it is so good. I promise you, you're going to want to try this if you are a fan of peanut butter and if you are a fan of sweet potatoes. It looks strange, but it is so, so good, and it's a healthier alternative to some of the other things that I would eat for dessert or breakfast or a snack. Now, another way I'm going to do this is with spinach and caramelized onions. So I've got a little bit of avocado oil in a pan. I'm just going to put a few onions in there. I had pre-chopped all of my onions for the entire week. So I am going to make sure those get coated in the oil and then add a little bit of seasoning to them. Now the seasoning that I am using is one of my favorites. You could season it with anything, but I am using my Uncle Lou's corruption seasoning. If you are new to my channel, welcome. My name is Stephanie. I mainly do cooking content, but I also have done some road trip videos, and my Uncle Lou's corruption seasoning is one that I got in Memphis, Tennessee at a place called Uncle Lou's, which was on Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives, and I use it for a bunch of stuff. I always have the link down below when I use it to where you can buy it online, and also to my road trip playlist. I swear my road trip videos are my favorite videos that I have done on this channel. So even though I do mostly cooking, I hope y'all will check that out. I will have my playlist linked down below and the video where I got the corruption seasoning. So I am also going to put a little bit of water in here. I'm going to steam these so they cook up a little bit without getting too brown. And then I add a little bit of spinach after my onions have cooked down for about 5 minutes or so. Add a little bit more water and then toss this around until my spinach is nice and wilted and cooked through, which does not take long at all. And here is my final product on top of that sweet potato. And this was really tasty and I wasn't that hungry, so it was a nice small meal. And the last recipe for this video is going to be one that is my most popular recipe that I've posted on YouTube. This is my Instant Pot cabbage soup. So I'm gonna kind of breeze through this one here, but I will link down below the video where I made this in detail. So definitely check that out. It is my most popular YouTube video at the point that I'm posting this one by a very large margin. So I have used frozen celery, and that's the main difference between this and the original video. I've learned that I will never finish an entire thing of celery when I buy it for one recipe. So back at Thanksgiving, I had chopped up some and frozen it to see how that worked, and in this particular recipe, it worked really well. I wouldn't recommend it for stir fries or anything like that because it does change the texture a little bit, but in a soup, it was perfectly fine. So I season this with salt, pepper, turmeric, garlic, a little dash of cayenne in here as well, and then I just add all of my ingredients. So this is another one that is really easy, kind of dump and go recipe with the exception of sauteing up these veggies for a few minutes before adding everything else. Using my diced tomatoes and then filling this up with cabbage, adding some spinach, and then on top I'm going to add 2 cups of veggie broth. So this recipe is really easy, and I was so glad that I had this because I had what I'm calling the booster bleh. I got my booster shot this week and just felt terrible for 2 days afterwards, but I am glad that I got it and I'm glad I'm feeling better. And this definitely helped to already have this on hand so I could have quick and easy meals and just throw this in the refrigerator and then throw it in the microwave, because I ate off of this for days. I don't freeze this, but I will eat this for several days in a row and not get tired of it. It is so flavorful and so good. Thank you so much for watching. I hope y'all enjoyed this video, and if you did, I hope you'll consider giving it a thumbs up, and I hope y'all check out the rest of the playlist. Thanks again, Tiffany, for hosting, and if you are new and stopping by from the playlist, let me know down below. Introduce yourself, and I hope you'll consider subscribing and join my YouTube community. Thanks for watching.